Sometimes the words don't always come as easily as you'd like. Sometimes there's so much going on in your world that no matter how much time you set aside to do a task, or how many timers you set to get it done, it just doesn't happen. Well, don't despair. You're not alone. FYI, even the people who look like they have everything together don't always finish the checklist. So, what can we do in a moment like that? Well, that's where I was when I started working on this week's podcast. Yes, today you are with Michelle, your Productivity Pulse, and I am here to talk about all things of gratitude in action. Well, when I was working on the podcast, my brain was full, not allowing any kind of problem solving to happen at all. So I brewed a cup of coffee and went into my garden, sat down on one of my mossy green chairs, and took in the beauty of the tulips that I had planted from last fall. They truly are exquisite. Well, at first I thought I was going to discuss about laying down early foundations and connecting it to nature, but something else happened in my brain and I decided to put that conversation on hold. Back to the sitting down part though. Okay, so I'm sitting there taking some intentional time, thinking, letting nature do its job, calming my mind and allowing me to focus. Then I took a sip of my coffee. Not just any coffee, though. That morning, I decided to pull out a bag of glitter juice. Yes, you heard me right. Glitter juice. Now, best name ever, right? That's from the Bright Jenny's Coffee up in Kelowna, BC, British Columbia. So my son brought me back a bag after enjoying a cup of their coffee some time ago. But in full Michelle style, I hauled out my frother and turned it into a glorious frothy drink. And as I took another sip, I started thinking about the day my son handed me the bag of coffee. And screech! My nature-based podcast came to a halt and then took a turn as I felt the need to share a story that dovetails with a previous episode. So in episode 16, we talked about how gratitude can help shift your focus and mindset. But today I want to take that a step beyond. Not just saying thank you to someone for a kindness, but actually taking action to show that person that their kindness, hard work, or attitude meant something really special to you. I want to invite you to witness gratitude in action. You're going to hear a story today about a challenging moment in my family's life and how that was lightened by the simple actions of the team at Bright Jenny Coffee. Imagine this, a young man, my son, hours from home, just finished an interview for an industry job. He's an industrial designer. Yes, I'm just a little bit proud. And he called me from Bright Jenny's and let me know that he was stopping for a coffee before he made his 5-hour drive home. The interview went well, and he was so excited. On arriving home, he pulled into the driveway, and I ran out to see him, and he got out of the car and reached into his pocket. And that's when I saw it. The look of devastation on his face. He dove back into the car, tearing it apart, tearing his bag apart, looking back under the seat, and then he became still. What is it? What did you lose? I thought maybe it was his phone or something, but no, the money clip, Mom. Jeeta's money clip. I keep it with me in my pocket all the time, and it's gone. So, a little bit of background. My father passed away when my son was just 14. It was a devastating loss for all of us. The money clip wasn't fancy, and Owen didn't keep any money in it. You know, how many young people carry cash anymore anyways? But it was something my father carried with him every day, and having it helped my son deal with the loss. And that's when the whole process started. We began retracing his steps all the way back to Kelowna. He thought maybe, just maybe, it fell out of his pocket in the Bright Jenny parking lot. Next, we reached out to Bright Jenny, calling and then went through their social media platforms. Honestly, I didn't expect to hear back from them. I hoped, but why would someone get back to us about a pewter money clip with no money in it? Did people still take time to care? Well, these people did. The operations manager of Bright Jenny got back to me in less than 24 hours to let us know that his team would check the parking lot and keep their eyes open for our special lost item. He even went over to the site to take a look for himself. Unfortunately, the money clip was never found. But in truth, I think we found something even more important. We found people who cared, people who took the time, people who went the extra mile in a world that often feels so fast and uncaring. And that got me thinking. Acts like that don't happen just by accident. They come from something deeper, from a culture, from a way of showing up in the world. And this is where gratitude in action can happen. So let me tell you a little bit about who Bright Jenny is. Bright Jenny didn't start as a big cafe or a polished brand. It started small, a backyard, a home coffee roaster, just two people choosing to spend their time learning, experimenting, and building something they believed in. They showed up at markets, served coffee out of a trailer, and connected with people one cup of coffee at a time. And like so many journeys, there were obstacles. At one point, they were forced to change their name, and everything they had built had to shift. Now that's a moment where time can either stop you or shape you, and they chose to move forward. They rebuilt, refocused, and became Bright Jenny, a name rooted in meaning, in relationship, in something personal. And you can feel that when you walk into their space and drink their coffee, or when you experience something like we did. And this is where I want to connect to an idea that I believe is so relevant to this situation, the ripple effect. You know the idea, you drop a pebble into water and the ripple moves outwards. Simple cause and effect. What we don't always realize, though, is that our use of time works the same way. Every small intentional action creates a ripple. The decision to respond to a message, the choice to walk outside and look for something that probably won't be found, the willingness to care when it would be easier not to. Those moments don't just end there. They travel from the Bright Jenny team to my son, to me, and now to you. And this is where it ties directly into one of my 6 foundations of my Time Core strategy system, intention. You've heard me mention it many times. Not just managing time, but choosing how you use it. Because Bright Jenny didn't just build a coffee company, much like my husband and I didn't just build Van Art Expression. We both have built companies one intentional decision at a time. To show up, to care, to respond, to keep going when things get hard. So here's the question I want to leave you with today. Where can you put gratitude into action? Today, I highlighted Bright Jenny Coffee to thank them as a company and what efforts they took to help our family. But what kind of small action can you throw into the pond? It might feel insignificant, but it might have the potential to create a ripple far beyond what you can see. Because at the end of the day, time isn't just something we manage, it's something we offer. And how we offer it matters. Thank you so much, and have an intentional day. Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Productivity Pulse. You're not alone in this. We're all learning how to navigate our time in a way that actually supports our lives. If you want a simple place to start, grab the free Time Disruptor checklist in the show notes and join the community. Let's start noticing what's getting in the way so we can begin to make the shift. Remember, intention plus accountability equals productivity. Until next time, keep listening to your pulse.